tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure you're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move when you see lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasting Association, and this.
The Locksmith has key remotes, remote fobs, smart keys, car remotes. Tuscaloosa Locksmith, 1605 23rd Avenue, just off of 15th Street Fire Station.
Are you receiving unemployment risk? Here's how to protect yourself and your benefits. Never notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor's social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ABA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor's Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary agent services available upon request to individuals. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
So you finally got your credit score up to 700. You're feeling good. A new credit card with rewards. You apply and, ooh, it's not approved. And that knocks your score right out of the 700 club. There's a better way. Next time, go to Credit Karma and check out your approval odds first so you can find a card you're more likely to get approved for. And with over 100 million members, there are plenty of reviews to help you choose. Get your free credit scores and find the right card for you at Credit Karma. Approval not guaranteed, subject to checks.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first date at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tide 100.9, Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy today. Tuscaloosa's high 48. Clearing tonight. Very cold. Our low at 21. Tomorrow, cold and dry, the high 40. And Sunday, sunny with a warmer afternoon, the high at 56 degrees. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 41 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comics.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
JG back right now.
All right, welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, hosted by Xavier Houston, host of the X and O Sports Podcast. Joe, as we were going into the break, we were talking about Alabama versus Baylor. What do you think this Alabama team? All right, welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, hosted by Xavier Houston, host of X and O Sports Podcast. When you look at this Alabama basketball team, what do they have to do to beat Baylor tomorrow?
Oh, Xavier, what they got to do to beat Baylor is really simple, but it's not something they've been doing. Is guard the basketball. I think that this team's troubles all start when the guards lose the dribbler at the top of the key as they're driving. You see guards getting beat on blow-bys, and then defenders come over. You look at your Mediacos, your Garys, your Rojas's come over to rotate over to defend, and that's when they get into foul trouble, and then that's when we get into offensive and defensive rebounding issues, and that's when rotations get missed and wide open shots happen. So really, in my opinion, if Alabama can just guard the dribbler better, and that takes a dedication from Shaq, from JD, from JQ. If they can guard the dribbler better, just more consistently throughout the game, gives them a much better shot to win.
Yeah, I think it all starts with about Alabama's backcourt when you look at the ball handlers, and that's on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. And that seems to be where they've struggled the most, is not being able to consistently protect the ball and stop the ball as they're moving it. But I think the biggest thing is you can't let Baylor win inside. You can't let them big boy you by any means, and you have to protect the three-point line, and there has to be better shot selection. There has to be. You're talking about guys going 2 for 10 from 3, 0 for 6. These guys have to take better shots, and that'll create better things on the offensive and defensive end for Alabama. But
Hey, what do you think about the whiteout? You think it's a gimmicky? I think the last time Alabama pulled a whiteout, I think. Now, correct me, callers can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the last time Alabama used a tactic like this was against Oklahoma in an SEC Big 12 challenge, where Herb Jones kind of shut down Trey Young, and Alabama ended up winning. Do you think it's gimmicky, or do you think it works for basketball?
Man, I love these things where you get your entire fan base to unite and become one and support your team. You for some reason it can be a momentum change, a defining thing in some of these games. You see it a lot more in basketball. I mean, in football, you see it with Penn State has their whiteouts that they do, and other schools like that. I love it. It might be gimmicky, but I think it's cool to see every fan united and looking like one.
Yeah, I think it's going to really, hopefully engage the whole the crowd and fan base. We've been having issues at Coleman this year with having, the students are packed up in that corner and bringing the heat, bringing the noise, but not always having the same buy-in throughout the rest of the stadium with the rest of the ticket holders.
Yeah, but I like it. I love it. Hopefully Alabama can get it done tomorrow, and we'll have something good to talk about next week when it comes to the basketball team. But, Joe, speaking of a free-for-all Friday, a flashback Friday, I've seen some interesting interactions when it comes to the transfer portal and some of the things that have been said about it this week, especially when you have Jermaine Burton transferring from Georgia to Alabama, and how that's kind of driven some people a little crazy on the Georgia fan base. They look at it and say, oh, well, Burton was getting outplayed anyway. He was going to be nothing more than a rotational guy and things like that. When I think that's more of a coping mechanism for some of them, because we all know Jermaine Burton is a talented wide receiver. He's just trapped in an offense that didn't feature wide receivers like an Alabama does. And I think all this is a business decision. He's seen what Alabama has been able to put out at the wide receiver position. He sees what Jameson Williams was able to do this year with Bryce Young. And he knows with Stetson Bennett coming back, he's not going to be able to have that type of season. And he wants to be a first-round draft pick, a high draft pick. He wants to play at the next level. But when I look at something like
Alabama, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen him practice or this, that, and the other. And I've only seen him play at Georgia though on film. But do you think he's going to be an impact like Jameson Williams was last year?
No, I'm not saying he's going to have a take the top off type impact and explosiveness. Just more so of, hey, Jameson Williams was an afterthought at Ohio State. He was a guy that wasn't getting on the field at all. He had 15 catches before he came to Alabama, and he was able to work himself into a first-round draft pick. Now, Burton, on the other hand, has over 50 catches across 2 years and almost 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. So I'm not saying he's going to be Jameson Williams, but he knows, hey, man, I can go play with Bryce and be a part of a machine that produces wide receivers. And maybe you see Alabama go back to more of the 2018, 2019, where you have one guy, maybe two guys break 1,000, but you don't discount the Jalen Waddle seasons. You don't discount the Henry Ruggs season, the Irv Smith type seasons that those guys were able to have as the second, third, fourth options.
Well, let me get your opinion on this, because I've been kind of kicking this idea around Tide 100.9 with the transfer portal and bringing Jameson Williams in last year, now Jermaine Burton this year. You look at, obviously you heard all the talk after the national championship game about, Jai Hall wasn't ready, Trayshawn Holden, the younger receivers weren't quite ready, weren't quite prepared for that moment. I wonder if the transfer portal, if we're sacrificing a little bit if we're sacrificing long term by going out and getting these guys who are ready made. Last year, going out and getting Jameson Williams, I wonder about if the reps that he got over the course of the season in practice and in games really hurt the growth of the younger receivers, your Javon Bakers, your Decory Brooks, Jai Halls, JoJo, those types, Christian Leary's, and now we've seen a handful of them depart in the transfer portal, but we're doing it again. We're bringing in Jermaine Burton, and we're just slowing down the growth of our own receivers by going out and getting a guy who's ready made and ready to go.
Well, do you think a Jai Hall? Now, the only reason we're questioning that is because Mechie and Williams both tore their ACLs at the end of the season. That's why we're questioning it, because if neither one of those guys get hurt, it's like, all right, they came in, did their thing, they're headed off to the NFL, and now those guys did get reps throughout the season, and they're going to get an entire offseason to prep them for the time that they're actually going to be on the field. So I think it's a little bit of a catch-22 when you look at it that way. The only reason people would be questioning it is because of the injuries that happened at the end of the year that caused those guys to need to play. But does a Jai Hall or Ja'Cory Brooks or Trayshawn Holden have the Javon Baker, any of those, have the impact for 15 games that Jameson Williams did?
Probably not likely. I say not likely, but Xavier, look at the early going of the schedule. I mean, you have games where you don't need. Let's just be honest. You don't need your 99s all over the field to win those games. You look at what was the game? Jameson took two kicks back against West.
Yeah.
Had another 80-yard touchdown reception against Southern Miss. I mean, I loved Jameson Williams and trust, and I embrace him in Alabama culture for certainly. But I just wonder if we're hampering the growth of our own players by going out and getting these guys who are ready made. I mean, we're doing it again with Jermaine Burton, so the same group of guys that we're talking about obviously are going to get a little more of an opportunity without Mechie and Williams. But you bring in Burton, and boom, those guys go right back down the depth chart.
Well, I mean, when you look at it,
if you put in a Jai Hall, Ja'Cory Brooks, Javon Baker, it doesn't really matter the name, whoever it is, out there early, they might be operating, let's just talk about it at a Madden level, or they might be operating at 79, they might be operating at 83, they might be operating at 84, somewhere in that range. But by the end of the season, reps on reps on reps on reps on reps, they can get up into that 90 range, up in that 89, up in that high contributor, be a real piece of the offense. I wonder if we sacrifice that a little bit by going out in a ready-made 99 and Jameson Williams and ready-made, probably 95, 98, and Jermaine Burton.
Well, see, the thing about calling Jameson a ready-made 99 is hard for me is because we didn't know he could be. We knew his potential, and it's kind of like the same thing you're banking on when you're talking about in a Jai Hall or a Ja'Cory Brooks or any of those guys. But he had to come here and prove himself. He had to come in and win a spot. Granted, he was a little bit older. Granted, he had played a little bit of ball at Ohio State. But to me, Burton is more of a proven thing coming in than Jameson was. But I mean, I get it. The thought process of maybe you're hampering your own guy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. But yeah, I get the concept of maybe you're hampering the younger guy. But Nick Saban has been known, when you're looking at the transfer portal, he's only going to try to upgrade the position. He's bringing in someone he believes is an upgrade, which is true. So now my question is, when you're looking at that, do you feel the same about an Elias Ricks coming in? Do you feel the same way about a Jahmyr Gibbs coming in? Because Jace McClellan, Roydell Williams are two very talented backs. Trey Sanders looked good towards the end of the season, like he was finally getting his legs back under him. You know, you got Kool-Aid at one corner. He struggled in the national championship game as well. You got Kyrie Jackson, who also struggled in the national championship game. But there are other guys behind the two of them. So is it an across the board thought of, hey, are we hurting the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You flip it to the other side and look at Elias Ricks. You bring him in, and yes, he's a very proven player and somebody I'm excited about having. But do you just sacrifice Kyrie Jackson's growth? And what does that do to a program as you're building, as you're growing? As you know, does that permeate an idea that, guys, I can come to Alabama, I can work hard, but you know, when it comes to my time being ready, they're just going to bring in a transfer. I think it's a really delicate issue when you look at roster management. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think Jahmyr Gibbs makes perfect sense for Alabama because of Roydell Williams and Jace McClellan's knee injuries and the uncertainty that you have there. Trey Sanders, I would love to see him, get the first crack at feature back next year. But you've got a Jahmyr Gibbs right there ready to help and probably going to carry a lot of the workload.
Yeah.
If Jace McClellan and Roydell Williams aren't ready to play, and then you look at who they're bringing in on the freshman level, Emmanuel Henderson, great running back at Alabama, but played in 2A football. I don't know how he's going to be ready to adjust. So Jahmyr Gibbs makes perfect sense, as he looks like a guy that's like, okay, this is a position that you have a lot of question marks. I don't know that you have those same question marks at corner or at wide receiver, that you needed to go out there and get one of those guys. Obviously, Coach Saban knows better than I do, and he felt that he did to go get those guys. So, obviously defer to him. But I just wonder what it does to the growth of a program and long-term sustainability of a program if your guys are working hard, and then when it comes time to, they feel like they're ready for an opportunity, you're just going to get a good transfer to play over them.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good thought, and we'll save the rest of it to the other side of the break and dig a little deeper into that, because I like that thought process. But hey, guys, if you've got any thoughts on this, you can call in at the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904, and we'll pick this conversation up on the other side of the break.
100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Eastside Traffic Center, Rexall delays, McFarland eastbound steady coming into Northport, and Lurleen southbound also steady from McFarland into downtown. If you see conditions, please give me a call. 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan has an amazing selection of trucks, SUVs, and pre-owned vehicles. Go see them. You'll save a bundle. I'm Ray.
This is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, you can be one of the great members of Flow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good in and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you from financial fraud. Anyone
anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. You're careful with your money. Fraud smart. Before you invest, call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product. Don't lose your hard-earned money. Learn to protect yourself at asc.alabama.gov. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ADA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
Nick Saban call process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wood said, learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com, that's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, hosted by Xavier Houston of X and O's Sports Podcast. Where you're talking about the transfer portal and can bringing some of these guys in hurt the development of your players. And CJ Watson said Hall was the reason Hall didn't get more time. It was his attitude. JoJo Earl was hurt, which is true. He got hurt towards the last third of the season, and Ja'Cory Brooks got time and had been productive. The problem was finding a number one guy to go to in the national championship game against the best defense in the country. It was absolutely the worst time to lose your top wide receivers. Timing and chemistry could be gained in practice, but there was no practice because it was the last game of the season. And I have to agree with that. You look at, if Alabama was able to keep those guys healthy and Williams and Mechie, national championship game could have turned out differently. And then you don't have a lot of time to they had a little bit of time to prepare for Mechie being out, and they didn't really do much against Cincinnati throwing the ball. But then to lose Jamison, 1 quarter into the national championship game, it kind of threw everything off, and there's no time to build that rhythm and chemistry with the other guys. And that's true. I think Ajay hurt himself a lot. JoJo's injury cost him a lot of valuable time as well because he was getting into a groove with the offense at the time of his injury. And Brooks did perform, but we just couldn't find that number one guy. So I understand CJ's point, and that was a really good one. But we had Tony on hold. Tony, welcome into the Martin Houston Show. Good, Tony. How you doing this morning?
All right. Those guys that think that competition, we bring somebody, that pick their game up.
You saying bringing someone in creates competition, and you have to raise the level of your game?
I mean, if I want to get up, I'm just if I want to.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Tony, but I think you're going with, hey, you have to be able Tony, can you call back and we'll get that cleared up for you? But to answer what I think you're talking about is, creating competition will make you better. And if that'll make you better, it benefits the team at the end of the day. So nobody should shy away from a transfer coming in. If you think you're better, go out and prove you're better. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an easy thing for you and I to say, Xavier. But like, think about living it, my man. Think about living a work year to year, and you're in your third year, and you're ready to start, and boom, Coach Saban just goes and gets some. I think it's tough for a 19, 20-year-old to experience. Now, hard, cold, welcome to the world. I think you're exactly right. If you're better, prove it. but I think it's a tough thing for a young person to swallow.
No, it definitely can be when you look at, I know for sure this is my shot, and then next thing you know, somebody's coming in to create competition. But I like what Tony said, in that, hey, if you're better, you'll prove you're better. If Coach Saban brings in a guy that he feels like is an upgrade at your position, and you outwork that guy and prove that you're the best, I think that just shines a little bit more light on you. But we have Leon on hold. Leon, welcome to the Martin Houston Show. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Xavier.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You get me?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Okay. The last caller and the last conversation after the last caller nailed basically what I was going to say. Listen, we're hearing confusing stuff when we hear about, these 5 stars and these this and that and other. Then we start talking about the development, being group about bringing in somebody else. Well, we always say is that we trust Coach Saban that he's going to play the best player, right? Well,
yes, sir.
You got to come to Alabama, man. You got to compete and be the best player, man. You can't be worried nobody's coming in. Okay, I'm just going to pick on one spot for a moment. Eli Ricks from LSU, a very good player. We have some very good defensive backs over there that were highly talented in this and other. Well, you can beat Eli Ricks out too. Okay, we all say this, and I don't know. I guess guys that are closer to it might know. We said, well, we can trust Nick Saban to play the best player. Well, you got to just step up and be the best player. Man, you got to do it on every level, everywhere you go, man. You can't start talking about development being crippled and all that. You win the job. You play better than the next player that's in line with you for the job. Hey, man, that's just the way it goes in football, period. In basketball, in baseball. You beat out. If you got a coach that's going to play the best player, if there's no funny stuff going on behind the scenes, no hanky-panky, then the coach don't play the best player. Well, you go out there, you get the same opportunity as the other guys to be the best player. You gotta go and do it. When the time is when you're getting a chance to develop. It's when you're practicing. It's not one day after this, I'm ready to start. You're ready to start right away if you come and show that you're ready to start right.
Yes, sir. Nick Saban has been known to play the best player, no matter age or the position. He doesn't care. He wants the best man on the field for the job. So I mean, I agree. To me, the transfer portal is facto free agency in college football. And you look at the NFL, there are guys that think, hey, this guy's retiring. It's going to be my shot. This guy got traded. It's going to be my shot. And the coaches bring someone in all the time to compete for that position. And so I don't think this should be viewed any differently.
Exactly. It's like this. You can force a coach to play you and the other good guy. All you got to do is just play like the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you can't be lacking in an area or two of the position and be having a problem with the fact that the man has gone and gotten somebody that he wants to be able to seal the deal with.
Yes, sir.
You gotta win. You gotta play winning
You're 100% correct. I'm not going to argue on that. I think I like competition. Competition is great. It makes you better in life, no matter what you're doing, whether it be on the football field, basketball court, wherever you're at. Competition breeds excellence. So I'm with it. I love bringing in guys, whether that be a junior transferring in, a grad transfer, or a high school kid coming in to compete with the big boys. Because I promise you, there were some older guys that thought they were going to play when Will Anderson came in and took the job. They thought, when a lot of these other guys that you've seen at Alabama, and Evan started as a freshman, Patrick Surtain started as a freshman. Alabama's been doing this all the time with freshmen. It is a little different when the guy might be a junior or senior, but it's the same principle at the end of the day. You compete, you perform, and you play.
No one hinders derails your development yourself. That's in any endeavor. It makes no difference what someone else is doing. Your development and trying to become an upper echelon at whatever you're trying to do, your focus is on that, not on the next guy.
Yes, sir. I agree. I agree.
You're the one trying to develop.
Yes, sir.
And that's just the bottom line, man.
Yes, sir. Leon, thank you for calling in. You have a blessed day.
Okay, you do the same, bro.
Yes, sir. Couple comments from Curtis Moore. He said, question is, will Coach Saban take this as a lesson learned going forward and get those young guys more playing time experience during the regular season between what happened with injuries late in the season and the national championship? I definitely agree that it looks like that might be a bigger push moving forward. Some of these blowout games, you get the younger guys earlier, get them a little bit more experience for these types of situations. You never hope or wish for injuries, but you have to be prepared for them. And we saw that the younger wide receivers weren't ready to step up as a group when you lose the two big names in Mechie and Williams. And then Martin Houston commenting on his own show. He says, I agree, play the best player, but this transfer portal could hurt the program in the long term because kids will start transferring and or not even coming because they know Saban will bring in better players. That definitely could be a case where you guys say, hey, why wait? Why risk it? But Nick Saban is the GOAT for a reason, so I don't know if guys stop coming, but you might see more guys transfer out potentially at those positions. But I don't think Nick Saban will ever go crazy.
Guys departed. In the offseason, we've had, 14, 15 guys now. Nobody that I'm really crying about, but these are bodies. These are able bodies who are leaving the program, and they've got eyes, ears, and a mouth. They're talking to their teammates that, why are you leaving, man? Well, I'm playing guard and tackle. I'm playing whatever the case may be. And he's just bringing in another player.
Well,
we lost. I mean, you lost Pierce Quick. Nobody really significance, but 14, 15 guys is no coincidence.
Well, I mean, when you look at it like this, none of the guys none of the three positions that Nick Saban has picked up in the portal, running back, cornerback, and wide receiver, none of those three guys were a big transfer leave. We did recently find out that Kamar Wheaton is no longer with the team, but let's be real. Was Kamar Wheaton going to be a factor on this Alabama team? Potentially, but now he's coming off of an injury as well. You still got three guys older than him, and you're bringing in Emmanuel Henderson and Jamari Miller that are younger. So we don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs is the reason he transferred. Javon Baker transferred before we knew we were getting Burton. Not saying that there weren't hints at it, but was Javon Baker going to be one of the top 3 or 4 guys at wide receiver this year? Maybe, but he also had to compete with 4 freshmen coming in. as well as the guys that are already here. And we saw by the end of the season, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. So that's a toss-up. And then we didn't lose any cornerbacks to portal. So I don't know if it hurt those guys in the sense that it the thing in my dad commented and he said it may not hurt development, but it may hurt the program. Death has been a strength, and this will hurt. That is true. Can't argue that. It might definitely be an issue. So we'll see what it does happen. Joe, let's go ahead and get Pat pushed through, and we'll just wrap up after I finish that.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pat. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Pat, can you hear me?
Pat, you're on, man. Oh, he dropped. Pat's on though. Pat, give us a call back, brother, if you want.
Yeah, we'll talk to you. But well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and go to break, and then we'll wrap up this program, this edition of the program, when we come back.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks or delays. McFarland eastbound steady. Coming into Norfolk and Lurleen southbound also steady from McFarland into downtown. If you see conditions, please give me a call. 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan has an amazing selection of new cars, trucks, SUVs, and pre-owned vehicles. Go see them. You'll save a bundle. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. In the Town Square Media News Center, I'm Scott Michaels. Last night, a divided U.S. Supreme Court lifted the stay in the execution of Alabama death row inmate Matthew Reeves. His death had been put on hold last week by an Alabama federal judge, and the stay was upheld this week by the U.S. 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. But his execution by lethal injection began last night, shortly after 9 p.m. at Holman Prison. He was pronounced dead at 9:24. Reeves was convicted of the 1996 shotgun slaying of Willie Johnson in Selma. In the Town Square Media News Center, I'm Scott Michaels.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Carving. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Tuscaloosa Locksmith has key remotes, remote fobs, smart keys, and car remotes. Tuscaloosa Locksmith, 1605 23rd Avenue, just off of 15th Street behind the fire station.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
The perfect place to make your escape. Golden Moon offers 600 finely appointed rooms with incredible views. Take a dip in our Vegas-style infinity pool, complete with a full-service bar and cabana. Experience the South's premier golf destination at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, or catch the biggest sporting events at Time Out Lounge. So what are you waiting for? Come see us in Choctaw, Mississippi. Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, a Pearl River Resort property.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, we are back. Pat, thank you for calling back and holding on through the break. This will be a quick call, but definitely want to hear what you got to say.
Good morning, Xavier.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, tonight we take on Auburn in gymnastics. Under the Pattersons, we never had to worry about destroying Auburn. I'm talking about, hey, I hate losing to Auburn in practice at anything. I went and watched rowing when Alabama was rowing against Auburn. I was the only one there like 12 years ago. But hey, I still on the side yelling and hollering Roll Tide. But hey, but my question is, do you think it's we have not been able to recruit? We have a Canadian Olympian, but we have not been able to recruit anybody off the U.S. Olympic team since Taryn Humphrey, I think it was her name. And my question is it the fact that the Pattersons are not there anymore? Does it have to do with development? What is it? Issue we are not bringing national championships home to Alabama in gymnastics. We used to do it a fairly regular basis with the Pattersons. What do you think?
Pat, gymnastics is out of my realm of knowledge at a high level, but I think that's what happens sometimes when you lose a great coach like that. You'll have slumps. You look at Alabama after Coach Bryant. There's between the 92 national championship, and then there's not another one until 2009. So you're talking about 30 years and only winning one national championship. So maybe that plays into it. Maybe it's always hard to replace the legend. You never want to be the guy to replace the legend. And other programs have gotten better as well over that course of time. So Alabama's just not able to dominate this field, this area, the gymnastics the way they used to, due to losing a legend of a head coach and competition getting better as well.
I don't know that it was so much the head coach. She did a fantastic job, but her husband worked hard too. And so you got to surround yourself with equals also. Coach Bryant did it. Coach Saban has done it. You surround yourselves, and you can't soar with eagles unless you got eagles. And so I don't know what the situation is. All I know is it's got to be corrected because Alabama has fabulous facilities. Our facilities have done nothing but I hear the music. Have a blessed day. Thank you back there.
Yes, sir, Pat. Thank you for calling back in. All right, guys. This has been the Martin Houston Show, hosted by Xavier Houston, the host of XNO Sports Podcast. Check out my podcast at Apple iTunes and Spotify. It has been a pleasure sitting in with y'all. Y'all all have a blessed day. And Joe, thanks for being behind me and having my back today. Y'all have a blessed one.